deep for the Yellowjackets, Marcus Davis, Anthony Hines, and Corey Robertson. A short kick. It's going to be taken by the Yellowjacket up man. Fair catch called for and made at the 22-yard line, and that will be Jeremy Grimes, who made the correct call on the short pooch kick to the near sideline, and Dennison starts 1st and 10 from their own 22-yard line. The starting defense for the Tigers tonight, Antoine Williams, Ray Smith, William Elsay, all 6'1", 300 pounds of him, and Jawara Booker across the defensive front for Terrell. The backers tonight on the left side, Terrell Ramsire, Keandre Jones on the right side, the left halfback, Bryce McCain, the right halfback, Jeremy Husband, the corners, Trey Palmer, and Demon Jackson, and Kendrick Turner will be the free safety. As the Jackets come out, offset eye look, this looks like Hines and Robertson in the backfield, shock and all on carry number 1. This is a play action. Crawley wants to throw, has time, throws it downfield, he's got a man, Anthony Hines had it and dropped it at the 43-yard line. If he could have hauled it in, it would have been a foot race to the goal line. It went right through the breadbasket. Dennison rolls the dice and comes up empty on the first play from scrimmage.
Boy, never thought that. All they've been talking about is running the football, both shock and awe in the backfield right there. Hines releases right through the middle, up the field, had the ball in his hands. If he'd caught it, he'd have been gone. Nobody's going to catch him right at the 43. That's a great play call, but just a little bit off on the hands there for Hines.
Great protection for Will Crawley. This is a toss. It's going to be Robertson heading to the far side, tries to cut it back inside, does so, gets across the 25, out near the 27-yard line before he is stopped. So it was 2nd and 10. We'll call it 3rd down and about 6 yards to go, perhaps 7 for the Yellowjackets. And we'll see what Dennison can do. Last year, the Yellowjackets pretty good on 3rd down conversions, 40 out of 109. It got a little worse toward the end of the season, but Dennison pretty efficient in the early and middle stages of the 2002 campaign. Let's see what they can do here. 3rd down, and we'll call it 6 yards to go. A man in motion, and this is Crawley. He'll toss it to Robertson. Coming near side, has to turn it in, has nowhere to go. As coming up to quickly make the turn inside was Kendrick Turner, the standout free safety. He turned Robertson back inside where he got finished off. And what started out with a lot of excitement has been a 3-and-out series for the Yellowjackets as Josh Vaughn comes in to punt the football away.
Well, Josh Vaughn had a great block on that play, but someone else on the outside didn't secure it very well, and actually Robertson lost a yard on that carry.
Josh Vaughn going to have to make up for Jerry Jones' absence. Of course, Jones last year averaging 37.4 yards per punt. And the back deep forward, Terrell will be Raynard Coates as Vaughn gets it. Not much pressure. This is going to be a wobbly end-over-end kick, and there's not going to be much return. It bounces at the 46. The Yellowjackets will kill it there. And so the Tiger defense holds despite the scare on the first play from scrimmage, and they get a relatively short punt and good field position. Only a 20-yard punt by Josh Vaughn on his initial effort as the Yellowjacket punter. Across the offensive front for Terrell tonight, Jesse Yates, Chris Choice, William Elsay, Bryce Potter, and Cody Risinger. Jamichael Palmer, the quarterback, Nolan King, the fullback, Jeremy Husband, the tailback, Roderick Dabney, the flanker, the split end, Kajon Davis, and the tight end, Adrian Williams. On 1st down, it's a toss to Husband. He runs right up the middle, nowhere to go. The Jacket defense quickly closes the gap, and it'll be a short gain, perhaps 1 or 1.5 yards. 2nd and long upcoming.
Well, the first tackle of the year was made by Vincent Rhodes, the defensive tackle. What a great job there penetrating through the line.
Vinny Rhodes on that defensive front along with Josh Vaughn, Jesse Dixon, and Malcolm Allen. The backers, as you mentioned, Anthony Hines, Kyle Richards, Mario Polk, and Nathan Farley. Marcus Davis and Brad Aday, the corners, and Corey Robertson back deep. Handoff to Husband. He picks up 2 or 3 tough yards running straight up the middle, and he'll bring the football to the 40-yard line before he's stopped by Hines and company. 3rd down and about 4 yards, 5 yards needed by the Terrell Tigers on their opening drive of the 2000 campaign. Thank you for joining us. 93.1 FM, just underway, no score. Tight formation for the Tigers. This is a toss. Husband wanting to come to the near side. Tries to get the corner, turns it up. He's got the first down and more. Nearly broke it to the end zone. He's tackled the last man that had a chance. I believe that might have been Josh Vaughn. And Husband is tackled at the 31-yard line. So a new set of downs coming up for the Terrell Tigers.
Well, there was some poor tackling over on the near side. All he needed is a little crease. He had 3 Yellowjackets right in front of him. Somehow made that crease and got through there. He is a little shifty. They do have some scat backs back there. Not like Hines and Robertson, who are very big. They have the little small shifty guy.
King and Husband in the backfield. This is a handoff. King plows straight ahead, picks up a yard, maybe two, second and long upcoming. No score early in the first quarter. Dennison had the biggest threat of the game so far as Hines dropped what looked like to be a touchdown pass on the first play from scrimmage. And so far the Terrell Tigers, they've got a first down, and now they're looking for more.
Yeah, that was looking back to that Hines play, wow, I hope that's not one we think about later on and say, ooh, what if? Because I'm telling you, that was 6 points if he could have hung on to that football.
Yeah, there's not much question about it. With the 4.4 speed he possessed, having split the defenders and already cleared them, he was gone to the house, and the ball was on the money. Bryce Woolard into the ball game for the Yellowjackets. It'll be second down and 8 for the Terrell Tigers. Split backfield, 2 receivers to the near side. This is a toss. Husband flags on the play. 2 flags as Husband turns it up and breaks downfield across the 20 to about the 17-yard line. Looks like, though, somebody jumped the gun for the Terrell Tigers.
Well, it's going to be too bad for Terrell because that was a nice gain all the way down to about the 13-yard line. That one will come back. Terrell already shooting themselves in the foot. That's the first penalty of the year.
Probably need to tell you a little bit about Coach Todd York, who's in his first year at the helm of the Terrell Tigers, but he's certainly no stranger to head coaching success. Nope, it's actually going to be against Dennison. No, it's going to be offsetting penalties. Pardon that. It's going to be offsetting penalties. There was a infraction against the Yellowjackets, a holding infraction against the Terrell Tigers. They'll wipe it all out, replay the down. Second down and 8. The ball will be spotted at the 28-yard line. Coach York took Corrigan Camden to the 2A Division I state title last year. They went 13-1 en route to defeating Bangs for the state championship. And pretty interesting stuff about the York family that we'll get to in just a moment. This will be a full house backfield, and it will be a flag on the play, handoff to the first man through. He's not going to have very much running room, does Kendrick Turner, but flags before this one can get underway.
Well, it looks like it's going to be false start again on Terrell, and that is what it is. So they'll bring that one back, and we'll mark off a little yardage against Terrell there.
You know, we talked about Todd York winning a state title last year. Get this, his dad, Chuck York, won a state championship while coaching Brady in 1959. His brother, Toby, took Cameron to the 1981 state title. So they're the only family in Texas high school history to have 3 separate family members win state championships as head coaches. Pretty impressive stuff.
Let me give you the visual for Terrell. They kind of, if you're familiar with local high school football, they kind of have that Pottsboro look. Red and white, the red helmets and the red jerseys with the white numerals. Now, they're not red and silver.
Carbon copy.
They're red and gray. They're red and white.
Carbon copy of the Greenville Tigers.
Yeah,
the Lions, rather.
Very similar.
Straight eye look for the Tigers. Handoff King as he plows straight ahead. The ball looked like maybe he was fumbling around in his breadbasket, but he kept control of it, got to the 30-yard line, and it was second down about 13. It'll be third down and long. Willard on the tackle for the Yellowjackets.
That was a nice job by the Denison defense. Willard coming in there, not a starter, not listed as a starter, but he's come in and done a good job so far. Not sure which defensive end is out of the game. It is not Malcolm Allen, so it must be Josh Vaughn.
Too tight set and straight eye look behind Palmer. This is a toss. Husband running straight ahead into the wall, gets to the 26-yard line before he's shut down, and it will be decision time for Coach Todd York as the ball is at the 26-yard line. He was telling us before the game he's confident from the 25-yard line in with his kicker, Rusty Davis. They're sitting on the 25.
That was Willard again on the tackle. If he keeps this up, we're going to have to start calling him field dates maybe. We haven't yet heard from Farley.
Well, Coach Todd York has made his decision. The Tigers will go for it. The ball is at the 26-yard line, fourth down and about 6 to go. This is going to be Palmer, the quarterback, rolling right, wanting to throw, tucks it up, has the first down and more as he gets to the right sideline. Late flag on the play, not sure what that's going to be. It could be a late hit charged against the Yellowjackets as a Yellowjacket player was diving for Palmer on the sidelines, but he never even really made contact. I'm not sure what that flag would be unless it was either a late hit or holding. We'll have to wait and see, but it is a first down if it's against Dennison. Holding against the Tigers.
Wow, that's going to be very costly. Very costly for Terrell. They are really shooting themselves in the foot on this first drive as they have had 3 penalties now that have wiped out big plays.
I think it's safe to say both teams shooting themselves in the foot. Hate to keep going back to it, but Anthony Hines, usually Mr. Sure Hands, And I'm telling you, you don't have a more perfect pass thrown and a more perfect route to the end zone than Hines had on the first play from scrimmage. He was gone if he just hauls the football in and went right through his hands on the perfect strike from Will Crawley. Otherwise, the Jackets would be nursing at least a 6-0 lead right now. Now it's the Tigers' turn to shoot themselves in the foot as the penalty will back them up to the 24-yard line. Fourth down and nearly 5 yards to go. One man in the backfield, three receivers near side, and Palmer runs the option. He's going to be tackled in the backfield. However, Dennison shooting the gaps. A great play.
Well, it was a great play. Bryce Willard, we've been talking about in this whole series. He replaced Josh Vaughn early on in this series, and he's made 3 tackles here early on. Bryce Willard, how about that? Put a star by his name here in the first quarter.
Going to have to come up with a nickname for Bryce Willard before this is all said and done. The ball is turned over on downs back at the 31-yard line, so the Jackets will get their second possession of the night with no score in our ball game. 6 minutes, 54 seconds to go in the first quarter here on Katy Country. Lynn Burkhead, Monty Walker, and the crew bringing you Jacket football against the Terrell Tigers. A man in motion, a straight eye look behind Crawley. This is going to be Robertson running straight ahead, lowers the shoulder and punishes his way 36-yard line.
Oh my, there's the first train wreck of the season right there.
Trey Palmer's the guy shaking the cobwebs out.
I'm surprised he got up off the ground. Robertson ran right over him. It was unbelievable. He just lowered his head, lowered the boom, and Robertson gets to the 35. Call it a 4-yard gain.
Second down and a long 4, nearly 5 to go. 2 men to the near side. This is Robertson getting the toss near side. Runs ahead to the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. So third down and short coming up. You know, J. David Barron making a good point in his very nice article about Corey Robertson leading into the season. One thing that if you'll watch Corey Robertson, he gets better as the game goes along. He just simply begins to out physical people. He begins to wear people down with his punishing running style, and hopefully that will be the case tonight. Third down and a long 4.5, nearly 5 to go for the Yellowjackets. As they said, Robertson's knee hit at the 36. Crawley, a quick drop, throws, got his man. It's caught, first down and more, out to the 48-yard line on the reception for Dennison. Believe that might have been A.J. Hayes. Check that, not Hayes. We'll have to check and see who that is out there on the corner. Snuck into the ball game for us.
I've seen a number 31, and I don't see that on the roster.
Yep, that's why we need our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man. Hurry up, Jason, get here. First and 10 is the net result for the Jackets out to the 47-yard line. Straight eye look for Dennison. This is a handoff. Scooter Means running ahead, crosses the midfield stripe into Tiger territory for the first time tonight. They may say his knee touched right at the 50, but the ball should be nestled across it in Tiger territory. So second and long coming up, 5:15 and counting in the first quarter. Lynn Burkhead, Monty Walker, Kevin Farr, and hopefully Jason Smith before long.
Well, the traffic should be cleared up by now. You know, he had to work today at Highport for our sister.
Oh, yeah, right. Had to work at Lowe's Highport.
It's not Lowe's.
That's right.
It's just Highport.
Second down at 7, and the Jackets have a false start. Crawley did the hard snap count, and I think it might have been the quarterback that forgot the snap count.
Well, there were 3 offensive linemen for the Jackets moving on that snap count, so odds are there was mass confusion there by the quarterback. They will mark the ball back at the 45-yard line. Still be second down.
Second penalty of the night for Dennison against 3 for Terrell. That will back the Jackets up 5 to their own 45. No score here in the first quarter, 4:52 and rolling. In the first, Denison and Terrell in the season opener. This is going to be a handoff. Robertson, he's got room to run 50. Look out, 45, 40 to the 35, 30. One man to beat inside the 20. Drugged down by the shirt at the 16-yard line. You don't see that very often, but Corey Robertson nearly took it to Tater.
Well, it was Antoine Williams, the left defensive end for the Tigers, who just grabbed his jersey and kind of slingshot himself back up to Robertson and just grabbed him around the waist. It was literally a shirt-saving tackle. It was a great play over there by Williams, but Robertson, I thought he was gone.
He got a handful of jersey, and that's all that saved points for the Tigers. First and 10 from the Terrell 16-yard line. Offset eye look, a handoff Means running straight ahead. Breaks a tackle, still rumbling down inside the 15-yard line. We'll call it the 13 as the clock continues to roll. 4:11 and counting. and Dennison knocking on the door.
I think they're going to call it closer to the 12-yard line. Means really busting through. He did break a couple of tackles there, just would never quit moving his feet on the play.
2nd down and 6 to go for the Jackets. One man in the backfield. Robertson gets the toss, heads right, looks for blocks, trips and regains his feet, gets inside the 10-yard line down to the 8. It will be 3rd down and short coming up for the Jackets. Clock at 3:40 and counting. Dennison knocking on the Terrell front door, hoping for 6 points.
Well, that was a great job by Robertson trying to get outside. However, there wasn't a lot out there. This is a big 3rd down play. 3rd and about 2.5, maybe even closer to 3. But this, we may see the power I set and just run Robertson straight up the gut.
Jackets 1 for 2 tonight on 3rd down conversions. And we do not see the power I set. Will Crawley sees an alignment he doesn't like, calls a timeout. We'll join them. No score, but the Jackets threatening. Don't touch that dial. Yellow Jacket football continues after this timeout. Eddie. Stick it in the end zone. Put it on the scoreboard as we come back. Robertson on 3rd and 3 from the 8-yard line. Plows over right tackle, and Dennison has drawn first blood in 2003. On the strength of Corey Robertson's 16th career touchdown, the Jackets own a 6-0 lead.
That was just a straight dive right up the middle. Robertson took the ball on the right side of the guard and just plowed his way all the way to the end zone. Great job by Robertson. Great job by the offensive line.
Absolutely. Nathan Farley on for the PAT. Farley 26 of 28 last year. Matt Fink to hold, Jeremy Grimes to snap. Grimes with the football, and it will be a good hold. This kick is on the way. Looks good, and it is. Timeout on the field. 3:10 left of the first quarter. 7-0. The Yellow Jackets lead the Terrell Tigers. We're back after this timeout. You're listening to Denison Yellow Jacket football.
And Dennison now leads 7-0 with 3:10 left to go in this first quarter. Dennison has been looking very well on offense.
Bryce McCain and company back to return this kick, and McCain may take it. No, it's going to be Palmer who's going to take it at the 5-yard line up to the 10. And tries to get outside, does so to the 20. Look out, 25, still going 30, and he's going to be spun down around the 42-yard line. That is going to be Raynard Coates, who is in as the middle returner on that kickoff. He found a couple of blocks on the outside as the coverage collapsed inside. And he got all the way out to the 41-yard line to electrify the home crowd. After your Cable One kickoff, once again, the Jackets own a 7-0 lead here on 93.1 FM, KMKT. Lynn Burkhead, Molly Walker, Kevin Farr, and now Mr. Jason Smith join us. This is going to be Husband. He's got room to run. Look out across the 50 and was a shoestring away from heading to pay dirt as he's brought down at the 48-yard line. Nifty job of running as he is slow to get up. He's very slow to get up, kind of limping back to the huddle. He headed right, cut it back across the grain, and found his way to a Terrell Tiger first down.
Husband is very quick. He is really shifty. He's got, he's probably only about 5'7". I think they list him at 5'8". But I tell you what, he can get through that hole very quick.
Full house backfield. This is going to be King on the handoff, heading right, rumbling his way across the 45, down to the 41 of Dennison. So Terrell quickly trying to return the favor as they pummel their way into Yellow Jacket territory. It'll be 2nd down and short as the fullback gets the big yardage on first down. I think that's a 7-yard carry for Nolan King.
Yeah, Mario Polk making the stop there. Coach Brown telling us if there's a headhunter on this defense, it is Mario Polk.
Jermichael Palmer leads the Tigers to the line. King and Husband behind him, and there's a flag on the play as Palmer took the ball out from under Husband's grasp and went down behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss on the play, but 2 flags at the line of scrimmage, so perhaps a procedure penalty coming up against the Terrell Tigers. Terrell has been penalized. If this is against them, it will be the 4th time tonight that the Tigers have seen the hanky go against them. And we're waiting the official indication. And it will be a legal shift against the Tigers, so that's going to wipe out what was a 2nd and short upcoming for the Tigers.
Coach Todd York said he didn't feel real prepared with his football team. He didn't have a lot of time to work with them, and it's kind of showing that. They've been really sloppy so far.
Jackets will actually take the play as they took Palmer down behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll be a loss all the way back to the 46. So 3rd and 8 coming up for the Tigers. Terrell on the night, I believe, only 1 out of 2 in third down conversions, and that is the indication from the Wizard. So 3rd and 8 upcoming. Straight eye, 2 receivers, 1 either side. A quick throw. It's going to be tipped away and maybe intercepted. And let's see what the official indication is. It is intercepted by Brad Aday. It was tipped by Hines on the corner. Aday made the diving grab. The only question was whether he trapped the ball. The official said no. Dennison football.
Oh, it's a great interception. We know the last time we saw a football game was in Sherman, and Jeremy Grimes made a great interception. It was almost just like that. One of those where he dove for it. They both went for the same time. Aday must have come up with more possession of the ball.
Brad Aday with an interception in 2002. He now has one in 2003, and we're only 1 game into the 2003 campaign. So already field position, the line of scrimmage, and turnovers certainly beginning to play its role in this contest. Straight eye look of Means and Robertson. 1 receiver to the near side. This is going to be Robertson running straight ahead. Plows ahead. He's got room to run to the 50 and down to the 46-yard line of Terrell. Corey Robertson beginning to chew up big chunks of yardage every time he carries the football.
They're going to mark him down at the 47. That is a big game for Robertson again. Another 16-yard scamper there by Robertson. I'm telling you, every time he touches the football, you're right. It's kind of like DeJuan Gentry a couple years ago.
Gerard McCullough, the man that brought him to the turf in Tiger territory at the 47 is where they'll mark it. A man in motion, but flags fly before this one can get underway, and I think the Jackets guilty of taking too much time. Nope, it's going to be illegal procedure against the Yellowjackets, so 1st and 10 from the 47 is going to be 1st and 15 back to the, we'll call it the 48-yard line. The first official penalty of the night against the Yellowjackets. And it'll be 1st and 15, the ball at Dennison's 48. Jackets up 7-0, 1:24 to go in the first. Corey Robertson, an 8-yard run. That's the ball game so far. Man in motion for Dennison. This is a handoff. Robertson heads left, now cuts it back to the interior of the line. A couple of tough yards out to the midfield stripe, and that is it. So 2nd down at about 13 coming up as the clock runs to 1:06 and counting in the first quarter on Katy Country.
He had all kinds of guys around him right there. Trey Palmer being one of them, the right cornerback. If the right cornerback is up with a line of scrimmage like that, you're gearing for the run.
Antoine Williams, another man that got in on the action, and that's going to set up, you would think, something down the line from Mr. Will Crawley. We'll have to
run about a 53 defense.
Straight eye look, a man goes in motion, 2 receivers to the far side. Crawley play action, he wants to throw, dumps it out, it's a screen. Means has it, flag on the play as Means crosses the midfield stripe into Tiger territory. It's going to be a blocking infraction against the Yellowjackets. You could tell by the way the official threw it. He threw it right at one of the yellow jerseys as he was getting up off the turf.
A lot of times that happens in first games of the season. Both teams here now having the flag thrown at them a lot. That happens a lot in first games every year. We see that every year. And one thing that we haven't seen so far is turnovers. And Dennison has been guilty of 9 of those in the, well, we saw the Day turnover there, the interception. But Denison has committed 9 turnovers in the past 3 games, past 3 opening games.
Well, we got a Tiger shaking up the field.
But the blocking infraction against the Yellowjackets with 34 seconds to go in the first quarter is going to back them all the way up to their own 39-yard line. So 2nd and a country mile of 25 yards coming up for the Jackets.
Big Adrian Williams will check in for the Terrell Tigers. He is 5'11", 235 pounds. He brings the load.
Jackets will split 1 man wide to the right. That's the near side. Left to right on the radio dial. A 2 tight set otherwise. Means and Robertson in the backfield. On 2nd and 25, Means will go in motion. Dennison up, 7-0. This is Hines, wants to throw it. He's got a man. Josh Vaughn caught at the 50, running downfield to the Terrell 41-yard line. And Mr. Robertson last year on his passing attempt, that was Hines rather, he was 2 out of 3. Now make it 3 out of 4 in his high school career.
Now, didn't I say something about that in the pregame show?
Yes, you
Hines
did.
Could actually throw the football. Well, look at that.
And you know,
I didn't know we'd see it in the first game, though.
And we really didn't talk about Josh Vaughn, the Yellow Jacket tight end. The coaches really think that they're going to have the ability to throw to the tight end really throw to the tight end for the first time in several years. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. 7-0. The Jackets have the lead. 3rd and short coming up when we begin the second stanza. A 3rd down and 3 coming up as we begin the second quarter of play. Dennison up 7-0 over the 19-point favorite Tigers. The Jackets 2 out of 3 in third down conversions. Means Robertson in the backfield, or Hines rather. Hines is going to get the handoff and nowhere to go. He ran into the quarterback, Crawley, and there might have even been a fumble on the play. I don't see anybody indicating, the officials indicating that that's the case, and apparently the Jackets will be forced to punt the football away as Hines and Crawley collided. It will be 4th down and nearly 4 yards to go. The ball back at the 41-yard line.
Josh Vaughn is getting ready to set the punt team up. And I know he wants to get off a little bit better punt than the 20-yarder that he boomed a moment ago. He is a left-footed punter.
He is left-footed, and he's got those size 16 cleats to
covers up the whole ball.
It does, and you've got to lay the ball just perfectly on them as Vaughn stands back at his 44. He has all kinds of time, puts his foot into this one, a much better kick, and in fact it may roll into the end zone. The Jackets giving chase. They knock it back, but it's not going to be a valiant enough effort. There was a Yellow Jacket down there who nearly got the ball back into the field of play. That was Marcus Davis as he dove into the end zone and nearly batted it back before it crossed the goal line plane, but not quite. The ball comes out to the 20-yard line, and the Tigers will start there, trailing 7-0. So the Yellow Jackets, after the turnover, come up empty.
Yeah, they do. And the Tigers have had 2 possessions so far, starting out at the 45 and then ending up turning the ball over to the Jackets. And the next possession they had, they threw an interception 3 plays later, so not much success so far. They've had more penalties than plays almost.
Tigers will split backs in the backfield, 2 tight set. This is going to be a toss. I believe it's going to be Palmer, runs ahead, skitters his way across the 20-yard line for a short gain before the Jackets come over and pummel him to the turf. And let's see who the last man up is for the Yellow Jackets. I believe that's Brad Aday on the tackle.
Well, it was Corey Robertson who came up and made a great defensive play. He literally had his man in front of him and moved his man into the ball carrier. It was a great technique. That's how you want to teach your ball players to do this, and I'll tell you what, you can't get much better than what Robertson did there.
Yeah, you know, for all the talk about Corey Robertson's success offensively, he's just as talented defensively.
Or more.
And you know, some scouts already saying that may be where his future lies at the Division I level of college football. This is going to be Palmer, our husband rather, getting the toss, coming near side. Not much running room. It was actually a wing reverse, and getting the carry, I believe, was Adrian Williams. He doesn't have anywhere to run. It's going to be a short gain and 3rd down upcoming for the Tigers.
Well, that's going to be Woolard on the tackle again. Woolard has had a superb first quarter, now starting to make tackles here in the second quarter.
I believe we're ready for our first check-in with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man. Jason?
Yes.
Nice of you to join us tonight.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. A little bit late, but I tell you what, if the Jackets will start off like this every game, I'll show up late to every one of them.
Well, we'd love to have that.
Yeah, we would, you know, and that just might tell us that we can have your paycheck in future games. Play action pass. Palmer wants to gun it downfield. Has a man. It's caught at the 40-yard line of Dennison. It's going to be the 35 is where they say the receiver went down, Roderick Dabney, as Palmer on the play action just hummed it downfield into triple coverage and laid it on the money.
Yeah, it was had to be a perfect pass because, like you said, there were 3 Jackets right there, including Robertson and the near cornerback, Marcus Davis.
It was just over the arms of Dabney as Jamichael Palmer absolutely threw a rope, and Coach Todd York telling us we don't throw it a lot, but when we do, we intend for it to be special. You see it right there as it gets him out of a deep hole into Denison Yellow Jacket territory. King on the carry, rumbling to the 31-yard line before he stopped. So it'll be 2nd down to about 6 coming up. 9:14 to go in the half. And suddenly momentum has swung onto the red side of the field after it appeared Dennison might be ready for another stop of this Terrell offense, but Jamichael Palmer and company having nothing to do with that.
Looks like Todd York's philosophy for the Terrell Tigers is to kind of lull you to sleep, kind of run dives and dives and dives, and then pop point all of a sudden.
Husband and King in the backfield behind Palmer on 2nd down and about 7. This is Palmer running to the near sideline, wants to tuck it up and run, and he's going to be tackled. I believe Hines got the first shot at him, and then coming over quickly to finish him off might have been Mario Polk.
That was another great job of technique by the Denison Yellow Jackets. Anthony Hines coming over and forcing the quarterback to the sidelines. Never let him have that inside seam, just kept forcing him over, and he ran out of room.
Polk was over there on the stop. It was really a stop by committee along with the sideline. So 3rd down and 4 from the Yellow Jacket 29. Dennison up 7-0. We've got 8 minutes, 41 seconds to play in the first half. And the Yellow Jackets with a 1-touchdown lead. Palmer up under center, split backs. He'll toss it. Husband heading left, trying to get to the corner. Good pursuit, but the Jackets are going to string him out. He's going to lose yardage on the play. And it is Corey Robertson, Marcus Davis, and company that told Mr. Husband, you're not going anywhere.
Well, that's another. I tell you what, we've seen some great technique on the defensive side. I hate to keep repeating myself, but that once again, the defensive end fought off his block, made the ball carrier go to the outside, and the outside is where all the Yellow Jacket defenders were to corral him.
Be a loss on the play. The scoreboard says 4th and 5, but it's closer to the 4th and 6, maybe even 6.5. The ball will be spotted just across the 30-yard line at the 31. And the Tigers apparently are going to burn a timeout. We're going to take one with them. Our score, Denison 7, Terrell nothing, but looking for points. Yellow Jacket football continues after this timeout.
A big play right here for Terrell, 4th down.
Straight eye look behind them. It's going to be Husband getting the carry. No, it's going to be a reverse, and there is a flag on the play as the receiver is bottled up. It was a fake to the fullback, and the receiver came over to make the grab. I believe that was Gerard McCullough, but a flag on the play holding against the Tigers should be declined, and that should end the drive.
Well, that was a great defensive play there by Anthony Hines, again forcing the ball carrier outside. The ball carrier was looking for somewhere to run. He had nowhere to run because Hines filled the gap. He tried to force it outside. When he was there, Polk was right there. I mean, that's the way you do it. When you play defense, you have to play your gaps and force them outside. And when you do that, what they say, swarm on defense, that's what happens.
Jamichael Palmer fooled me once again as he faked the great handoff to Nolan King. It was actually a reverse again to Gerard McCullough, but he had nowhere to go, and the penalty would have wiped it out anyway. And for the second time tonight, Dennison takes over on downs, this time at their 33, and it will be Crawley, hands it off. Scooter Means, he has some room to run, bangs his way across the 40, still rumbling to the 42-yard line. The junior fullback pinballing his way downfield.
Well, that was a great job by Scooter Means. He exactly did that. He just pinballed his way through there, bounced off a couple of, as a matter of fact, he kept moving so long. That's when you get really scared, because that's when the fumbles happen, when you keep turning those feet and keep hitting about their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th broken tackle. But he hung on to the football and moved across the 40 to the 42.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort gets him 8 yards, 2nd and 2. As you mentioned, the ball at the 40. Power eye look. Hines, the tailback, gets the handoff, runs ahead, sheds a tackler, still trying to get to the 45, and he will be close to the 1st down, and I believe he's got enough. A late flag on the play, and let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man. Jason, maybe the magic word right there.
I would suspect so. It was very late that flag came flying in, and it was one of those Bob Sullins type flags where it goes really high in the air. Note of interest, the Jackets have added a gold fleck to their paint scheme on the helmets tonight. Very nice metallic gold look to the black helmets.
Well, certainly not something that Bob Brown is going to be happy with, not the paint scheme, but a personal foul called against the Yellow Jackets. So Dennison beginning to catch up in the penalty department, and that is an area, Monty, that the Jackets actually really excelled in last year, was not being penalized very often. They only averaged being penalized last season 4.5 times a game for an average of 35 yards. Their opponents were penalized twice that much, but tonight it's beginning to balance out.
Well, they went ahead and gave the Yellow Jackets the 1st down, but it's going to be pushed way back to the 30. So the Yellow Jackets moving back actually about 15 yards.
Pretty much what you would expect for an opening night ball game. Both teams with very limited time of two-a-day drills coming into this game tonight. Dennison with the advantage of spring drills. This is going to be a reverse for a receiver for the Yellow Jackets. He's got nowhere to go. I believe that might have been Micah Hudgens. We'll have to check the number, as it was a receiver on the far sidelines that tried to sneak around the corner.
I think that may be Chad Smith.
Chad Roberts, rather.
There was a Chad Roberts. Exactly. Now, what happened was it was going to be like a straight dive to Robertson. Robertson simply took the ball and handed it off to the receiver, Chad Roberts, going by. And when he went by, there was Terrell Tigers right in his face.
Game beginning to muddle up a little bit. 6:45 to go in the half. 7-0 the Jackets lead. I look behind Crawley. One-man split to the near side, and Crawley's going to turn, hands it off. Robertson, flag on the play as Robertson plowed over right tackle for a short gain. And the penalty bug really beginning to jump up, and that one may be against the Jackets for a holding infraction at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that was about a 1 yard gain, so we'll see what happens with the officials. And it is legal procedure against Dennison.
They'll decline it, so it'll set up second down at about 13. Got fooled on that one. You know, when they throw the flag right into the middle of the pile, so often that's a holding infraction, and usually a procedure penalty, you know, is thrown at the line of scrimmage. Really thought somebody might have been guilty of the hold, but only it would have only been a 5-yard mark-off, so the Tigers more than content to take the loss of down after the play is run. 3rd and long. This is Robertson. He'll get the toss, tries to scamper his way downfield, breaks some tackles, still running, still trying to get free. He's got room to run, may have the first down, and does at the 41-yard line.
Oh, my. That's one of the greatest runs that you'll ever see. That's one of the greatest 13-yard runs, I should say, that you'll ever see. The sticks are moving. Robertson broke about 3 tackles.
I think it was 4.
Quit. It may have been 4. It's unbelievable watching this kid run.
He went right, came back left, headed right again, and then cut it back up the middle of the field, spun off one last tackler, and had a yard extra for the first down.
I think he can spin on a dime and cut on a nickel and twist on a penny.
It's only a matter of time, you got to believe, before he breaks one tonight. 5:58 and counting of the first half. New set of downs for the Jackets. They'll split backs behind Crawley, and this is going to be Means getting the handoff, heading right. Couple of tough yards over the right tackle, and it'll set up second down and short.
This is just a quick hitter by Means right up there, and actually the defensive line by Terrell is not doing a bad job on those plays right up the middle of those dives. They're really handling the line of scrimmage fairly well, but it's those outside sweeps that Dennison keeps throwing at them that they're really having a tough time with.
Second down and 8. The ball will be nestled at the 44-yard line of Dennison. The Jackets up 7-0 against the 19-point favorite Tigers. This is going to be a handoff to the first man through, Means, and the ball might have squirted free. Nope, no indication by the official. It's going to be no gain, so 3rd down and long coming up. 5 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the half and counting. Again, 7-0, Dennison leading. An 8-yard run by Corey Robertson late in the first is the difference in the game, but we have to go back to the opening play of the 2003 season when Will Crawley laid it in the hands of Anthony Hines, who was wide open. It could be 14-0 right now. We'll call this 3rd down and 7, and Crawley's going to toss it, a high toss to Hines. Hines trying to get outside. Now he'll cut it back in, and he's going to be bottled up and go down for a loss on the play, so it'll be punting time once again for Josh Vaughn.
Well, he probably should have gone down earlier than that because it's going to be a big loss on the play. He had momentum up to about the line of scrimmage, but he was trying to shake and bake a little bit and try to make some moves to squirt free, kind of like Robertson did a moment ago, but he wasn't able to. Lots of Terrell Tigers there to make the stop and bring it back to the 41-yard line, and that's where they'll punt from.
Bryce McCain back to return this punt, along with Jeremy Husband for the Terrell Tigers. So McCain and Husband back deep. Vaughn stands at his 27-yard line. And he has plenty of time to return on an end-over-end kick that's going to drive McCain back. It takes a great roll inside the 15-yard line, and the Jackets are going to kill it at the 11-yard line. So a great roll on the end-over-end kick by Josh Vaughn. That certainly helps atone for that 20-yard effort earlier in the game. That's a 48-yard punt for Josh Vaughn.
Well, and you can thank Chad Roberts also. He's the guy that killed it down there inside the 15 at the 11-yard line. Roberts, of course, the junior, split in. And Johnny on the spot there. The ball just fell right in his hands. Now Terrell is deep in their own territory with 3:45 left to go before the Grays Credit Jewelers halftime show. Dennison up on top, 7-0.
Jackets own the 1-touchdown lead. Again, it has been the Corey Robertson show so far tonight. Hines really not getting into the flow of the ball game like we thought he might. He's had a few carries, but unable to get anything going.
He had a great pass.
He did have the great pass. I did take that away from him. This is going to be a toss. Husband heading up the field. Look out. He broke a tackle. He's running in the clear. Husband off to the races. The 40, the 50. Hines after him at the 40. He's not going to catch him. Husband is going to take it to the house. 89 yards with 3:32 to go in the half. It is 7-6 Dennison. Their lead has shrunk to 1. No flags on the play.
Well, once he got past the line of scrimmage, he was shot out of a cannon. Nobody was even threatening except for Hines, who was running stride for stride about 3 yards behind him. And once he got to about the 15, maybe the 20-yard line, Hines just simply said, "I can't catch you," and gave up. And that's 6 points for the Tigers there.
Rusty Davis on to try the PAT, and just like that, the Tigers have answered the Jackets. It was a poor snap, but the holder got it down on the tee, and the kick is good. And with 3:32 to go in the first half, after an 89-yard run by Jeremy Husband, the senior tailback, our score's knotted up 7 apiece. Don't go anywhere. Yellow Jacket football continues after this timeout. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a tie ball game. 7-7 as we head to the halftime stanza. 3:32 to go. And all of a sudden, the field position battle that the Yellow Jackets had been winning has gone by the wayside as we get ready for the Cable One kickoff. Yellow Jackets will send 3 men back deep, Marcus Davis, Hines, and Robertson, and it will be, I believe, Davis. No, the ball is free. Hines is going to have to dive on it as the ball squirted free inside the 25. They came up, tried to field it on the short hop. It rolled by him. And the Yellow Jackets do come up with it. Anthony Hines dives on the football.
Well, there were 3 Yellow Jackets right there swarming around, and neither one of them called for it. Either one of them could have, but none of them did. It falls right in between them, and it rolls back about 10 yards when Hines saves the day. Because I tell you what, if Terrell would have jumped on that ball, they probably would score here because they're only 17 yards away.
If you ever wonder why coaches continue to do that short onside type pooch, that's why.
That is it.
You're hoping that somebody goes to sleep and that you come away with a turnover, and they nearly did. Marcus Davis and company right there. Nobody called for the ball. Hines saves the day. This is going to be Corey Roberts. Not much room to run, a couple of yards as the yardage has shut down for the time being. As second down and about 9 coming up, 3:13 to go in the half. 7 up is our score. Terrell, an 89-yard run moments ago by Jeremy Husband. That matches the 8-yard run by Corey Robertson earlier in the game, and we are knotted up 7 apiece in the season opener. 3 minutes to go in the half, and Dennison trying to get themselves going again. They actually gave Robertson about 2.5 yards, so his yardage is beginning to pile up a little bit. We'll give you an update as we get to the locker room at halftime. 2:46 and counting, a man in motion. Offset eye look behind Crawley. Crawley's going to toss it. Robertson, he's trying to find blocks to the near side. 20, 25, look out, 30. Robertson, 35, 40, looking for a last block. He's to the 50. Robertson, a 45, 40, 35. Stiff arming his way to the 30-yard line, down to the 20 before Corey Robertson finally ran out of gas.
Oh, I don't think he ran out of gas. He was just pushed out of bounds. He was fighting the whole way. Grabbed his stiff arm, was trying to fight his way through Bryce McCain. As McCain had the angle on him, he was just fighting the whole way. Robertson now has 13 carries for 160 yards on that big gainer there.
He was trying, as you said, to fight his way through that last gasp defensive effort, and if he had done so, he would have found the end zone. Timeout charge to the Tigers. Will join him. Don't go anywhere. Dennison threatening. Yellow Jacket football continues after this timeout. Jackets 1 for 1 so far in this young season in the red zone, and they are there once again. The ball nestled at the 20, Means in motion. This is Hines. He's going to throw it. It's going to be caught. The tight end, Vaughn, at the 10, plows his way to the 5, to the goal line. Did he get in? No, he's going to be denied at the 1-yard line. Josh Vaughn powered his way to the 1. Anthony Hines 2 for 2 tonight through the air.
You know, and he's 1 yard away from throwing his 3rd career touchdown in 4 passes.
Hey, give Vaughn a lot of credit because he caught the ball about the 10 and just plowed his way through red jerseys all the way down to the 1.
Are we going to be hearing people call for Hines at quarterback? I don't think so.
Not the way Will Crawley threw that first ball, I'm telling you. This is 1st and goal from the 1. 2 tight power eye set, and it will be Hines. He'll get the carry, heads left, stick it in the end zone, put it on the scoreboard. Touchdown Dennison as Anthony Hines gets his first touchdown carry of 2003.
Just a dive straight over the left tackle, or maybe even the left guard. And Anthony Hines, you deserve it. You threw the ball down there, and we forgot to mention really about Josh Vaughn, as he kind of looked like Scooter Means on that last play, just bowling through everybody and breaking off, kind of like Moose-type breaking tackles. Tell you what, these kids are out to play, and there's some players on this team.
Grimes to snap the football, Matt Fink to hold, and Farley trying to make it 2 of 2 in the PAT department tonight. As Grimes prepares the snap, Fink calls for it, puts it on the tee, and this one is going to have to hurry to get through, but it is good. Timeout on the field, 2:03 to go in the half, 14-7. Your Dennison Yellowjackets lead the Terrell Tigers. We're back after this timeout. Jeremy Husband, L.J. James, and Bryce McCain back deep as we get ready for the Cable One kickoff from Nathan Farley. 2:03 to go in the half, 14-7. Your Yellowjackets lead. Hines and Robertson shocking and awing their way to 14 points. This is going to be an end-over-end kick, a squibber. It's going to be taken by an up man who's going to break a couple of tackles out toward the 40-yard line. He picked it up at the 29 before finally being stopped at the 40, and on the carry was Roderick Dabney. And so the Terrell Tigers, with $1:56 to go in the half, start 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Terrell has really had pretty good field position tonight.
Well, I guess so. After the punt by Vaughn, the 20-yard punt, that kind of gave them good field position. But after that, they've been pinned deep pretty good. Now, I tell you what, the Jackets, maybe they let the ball go on the kickoff every time so they can get back down to the 7 or so, just so Robertson can have more yards, right? Is that the theory?
Boy, he showed great vision on that run. He was literally watching his blockers, and he just picked his way through the gaping holes, and what a sweep cutback it was to spring him.
I like the way he fought it till the very end.
I formation. This is going to be Jamichael Palmer. He's going to run it. It's a reverse, and it's going to be at the 45 to the 50. The Jackets giving chase and knocking. I believe that's Dabney, it's Husband rather, who got it on the reverse, and he'll get all the way down to the Yellow Jacket 42-yard line. So Todd York beginning to pull the tricks out.
Well, thanks to Brad today staying where he was at over there on his cornerback position, because he was the guy who finally knocked him out of bounds to save all that space, because he had a lot of room to run, but today was there to at least knock him out of bounds.
Jeremy Husband got the carry. It was King that started things off. Husband kind of slanted down inside and took the handoff as King was heading right. Husband came back left. This is going to be Palmer, play action, rolling to the right, tucks it up. Now he's going to run. 40, 45, still going to the 30, looking for blocks. 35 to the 20, and lowers his shoulder and says, hey, if the Yellow Jackets can move down the field quickly, so can we, but hold everything. 2 flags laying at the 43 and 44-yard line. Probably going to come back against the Tigers.
Well, they're laying right at the line of scrimmage, so you would think so. And another great job by the quarterback there, just finally getting out to the outside. Dennison, for some reason, were nowhere to be found.
You know, Nathan Farley, we weren't quite sure how well he was going to be able to play coming into the season opener, because the coaches thought earlier in camp might have had a stress fracture in his metatarsal. That apparently has healed up nicely.
Well, I said Dennison was nowhere to be found. I now know why. They're calling clip against the Terrell Tigers, and that will move them all the way back to about the 40-yard line. Call it the 42 in their own side of the field.
Pretty hard to run when your legs get shot out from behind.
Yeah, it's not very good.
That will take the Tigers way back to where they started this drive. And it'll be first down and a long way to go. 1st and 25 from the Tiger 42. The clock at 1:44 to go in the first half. It started off a little slow, but it has picked up steam and speed ever since, as maybe a scoring fest developing between these two clubs. This is Jamichael Palmer, straight drop, wants to throw. He's going to loft it up downfield, and it's going to be up for grabs. It's going to be, is that complete? No, incomplete. Thought the receiver for just a moment had wrestled possession of the football away from Brad today, Kendrick Turner, but no reception on that one. It'll be 2nd and 25.
Well, he was trying to throw the home run ball, threw it way up in the air, very high, almost like a fade route, but both receivers were right there. He threw it a little bit under his receiver, so the receiver and Brad Aday were both there to go up and make the play, and looks like Aday just made the better play of knocking it down.
Clock stops, 1:37 to go. Everybody in tight for the Tigers, and this is going to be the handoff. Turner running inside on the wingback reverse. There might have been a fumble on the play. Dennison says they've got the football, and the umpire says they do. Dennison gets its 2nd turnover of the night, and the Yellow Jackets have the football at the Terrell 44, 1:32 to go in the first half of play.
Got 2 injured players down, one Terrell Tiger and one Dennison Yellow Jacket. We'll try to find out who that is.
That's something Dennison was not able to do last year very well, and that's to take turnovers and turn them into points. They've got a golden opportunity here late in the first half after a turnover in Tiger territory to extend their lead heading into the locker room, and let's see what the Yellow Jackets can do. They'll split man to either side. An offset eye look behind Crawley. Play action. He wants to throw. He looks, throws downfield. No one was there, and it was nearly intercepted. I think Will was trying to throw that one away, but he floated it a little bit too long, and it was nearly picked off by Damon Jackson.
Yeah, that was a little too close for comfort. I guess if you're going to try to throw the ball away, you need to throw it to the sidelines and get it out of there. Yeah, maybe he saw something that
could be a receiver ran a wrong route or something.
It possibly could be, but that ball was a little bit too close to danger.
4 receiver look for the Yellow Jackets. Robertson will flank Crawley in the shotgun. 2nd and 10 from the Terrell 44 after the Terrell fumble. Dennison up 14-7, wants to make it more. Flag on the play, and Crawley's going to throw this one out in front of his intended receiver, and that was Jeremy Kimbrell. And I think Crawley knew that the flag had been tossed, and I think Dennison going to have to back up 5. I think somebody jumped the gun.
Well, it was Scooter Means over there on the far side. Yeah, I believe it was Scooter Means who jumped a little bit, and that's going to be a false start on Dennison. Moving back a little bit, or maybe decline it even.
It is going to be the false start against the Jackets. They will decline the penalty, and that will set up 3rd down and 10. So Dennison so far not taking advantage of the opportunity they've been blessed with here in the late going of the first half. 2nd turnover of the night. The first turnover and interception by Brad Aday, and that resulted in no points. Let's see what the Jackets can do here. 4 wide out look. Crawley in from the shotgun. Now he's going to try to set up the screen to Robertson. Robertson running 40, lowers the shoulder, gets to the 38-yard line, but he's going to be about 3 to 4 yards shy of the yardage necessary for a first down. A little extracurricular skirmishing going on down at the 25 between a couple of players, that being Damon Jackson for the Terrell Tigers, and I believe for the Yellow Jackets, that's going to be Chad Roberts. Yep, Chad Roberts, a little skirmishing.
You know, Trey Palmer is going to be ready for this game to be over, defensively anyway, because that's the 2nd time he has been flattened by Corey Robertson, and Robertson has had the ball both times.
Well, the Yellow Jackets are going to punt the football away. So for the 2nd time tonight, the Tigers turn the ball over, and the Jackets are unable to convert. 37 seconds to go and counting. They could go for the fake perhaps here. We'll see. They need only 3 yards. They have 2 up men, and they may just let the clock expire and back up and kick the football away, and that apparently is what they're going to do. Nope, Vaughn's going to take it at the 49, puts the foot into it, and is going to drive it back inside the 10-yard line into the end zone, and with 17 seconds to go, a touchback out to the 20-yard line. Don't forget our Grace Credit Jewelers halftime show coming up as Jason Smith guides you through our halftime festivities. About time he earns his pay tonight, don't you think?
Yeah, he's running a little bit late, I guess. That was the 4th punt for Denison. Josh Bond doing a pretty nice job there. Denison has, on their first possession, punted and then scored on the Corey Robertson touchdown, and then punted twice in their next 2 possessions. 1-yard touchdown by Anthony Hines, and then this last punt to pretty much end the half, and Denison on top 14-7, 16 seconds and rolling.
Jamichael Palmer takes the knee. That's going to be the final snap of the half. We get set to begin the 2nd half of play. Farley approaches the football, squibs it down the field. It's going to take a hop and be batted around. The Tigers are going to scoop it up, and Upman does. He's heading to the near sideline, trying to find daylight. Flag on the play. He's got the 30, still going, 30, 35, 40, to the 50, still going. It's to the 40, to the 35, 30. If this flag's not against the Tigers, it's a touchdown return on the opening kickoff of the 2nd half. It is Jamichael Palmer, the quarterback, who skitterbugged his way down the right sideline to pay dirt, but I think it's all coming back. A hanky laying at the 31.
Well, I'm not sure how this could be against Dennison. With the flag all the way back at the 31, it has to be some kind of illegal block against Terrell.
Let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man. Jason, who's it against?
It's definitely against Terrell, as you can hear the student section behind me saying go back. Definitely an illegal block or hold behind the actual play. One of those things that just drives coaches nuts.
Yeah, I think the actual call is going to be a chop block, and that will take the Terrell Tigers way back in their own territory, all the way back inside the 20, about in between the 15 and the 16 is where they're going to mark the ball.
Well, Coach Todd York telling us this week before the game that it would be Husband and Palmer, that 1-2 combo in the backfield, the quarterback and the tailback, that would make the Tigers go. And wow, we just saw that that's definitely true. It was a big play, got called back, so penalties certainly beginning to play a major factor in this football game, as what would have been an 86-yard touchdown return on the opening kickoff of the 2nd half is called back on the chop block. And that's really what sprung Palmer. He's got 2 men in the backfield, a split backfield. Palmer turns, tosses it. Husband heading to the far near sideline, then cuts it back across the grain, out across the 20 to the 24-yard line before he disappears in a swarm of yellow jerseys. We'll call it 8, maybe 9 yards on the initial carry of the half. 11:33 to go in the third quarter. 14-7, the Jackets lead, but the Tigers with a big gainer on first down.
Well, that offensive line is really pushing back the Yellowjackets. Jesse Yates up front, the 170-pound tackle. Him and his buddy over there, Cody Reisinger, 195-pound junior, both tackles really pushing that defensive line.
Power eye look. This is Husband running straight ahead, has the first down and more. Malcolm Allen on the stop as Husband disappears at the 33-yard line, but that's more than enough for the first down. 1st and 10 coming up from the Terrell 34-yard line. We saw this in the first half. The defense kind of bent a few times, but they didn't break very often.
Yeah, they really didn't, except for those 2 big plays. That's the only thing Terrell has really been able to garner all night. Malcolm Allen on that stop, that's really the first time we've heard from him tonight. First time we've called his name anyway.
JaMychal Palmer under center. He's going to hand it off. First man through, new fullback in the game. He's going to run his way upfield, a trap play across the 40 out to the 45. It's another Tiger first down as Damon Jackson rumbles his way right up the middle, and Todd York's staff doing some very good adjustments so far in the early going of the second half.
Yeah, what they did is they left Vincent Rhodes wide open, just didn't block him, and then let the tackle come over and kind of hit him from the side, kind of blindsided him. What that is a trap, because Vincent Rhodes is thinking he's going to get in the backfield, and all of a sudden he gets blindsided.
Palmer up under center, split backs behind him. This is a toss to the second man through. No gainer, maybe a short game for Damon Jackson, as the Tigers have broken away somewhat tonight from that I-back offense that we knew they would run coming in. They've gone to the split backfield several times, and that time Jackson picked up maybe a foot.
You know, and they are running that trap more often and more often. They may have been watching the Paris game film from last year, because Paris kind of shredded the Dennison defense on that trap play a lot.
Palmer split backs, rolling back, wanting to throw, coming to the near side, nowhere to go. He's going to be tackled for a loss on the play. Back to the 41-yard line. The Yellowjackets swarming there, and right there on the stop for the Jackets, Jesse Dixon and company.
Now it's Vincent Rhodes. He played a great tackle technique up there on the front, and Rhodes really hammered him to the turf behind the line of scrimmage all the way back to the 41-yard line. The ball's going to rest in between the 41 and the 42, so that'll bring up third down and very long.
Third down, and we'll call it 14 from the 41-yard line. 14-7 is the Denison lead in the early stages of the third quarter. 2 out of 5 in third down conversions for the Terrell Tigers in the first half. One man in the backfield behind Palmer, and that is not Husband. Palmer back to pass, flags on the play. Procedure penalty coming up, I believe, against the Tigers, and that's going to back them up an additional 5. In the ball game is Nolan King. He's the lone setback, or at least he was in that particular series or play, and have not seen Husband in a couple of plays. Don't see him on the sideline, so I don't think he's hurt, but he may be a little winded. We're going to talk with Jason Smith about the humidity. That's going to be a factor throughout the rest of the game.
You know, the good thing is Terrell is third down and 19, which is a long way away, but the bad news is they've been fairly successful on big plays tonight. When they have to make the big play, it seems like they have, and this is kind of the situation they're in right now.
Well, the Terrell Tigers will get Husband back into the ball game. King and Husband in the backfield, and this is going to be Palmer back to pass, trying to set the screen up, throws it. It is going to one hop into the receiver, incomplete, and it will be punting time for the first time tonight for Rusty Davis and the Terrell Tigers. They have yet to punt the football, but I believe they will now.
Well, Vincent Rhodes made the play there. I know it was going to be a screen pass, and if he even caught the ball, if the ball was on the money, he wouldn't have gone anywhere, because Rhodes was right there to make the stop. However, he didn't have to, because the ball one-hopped him.
Well, let's see if the Jackets can get the punt return on. Anthony Hines will be back deep along with Corey Robertson. Again, it has been 52 games since the Yellowjackets took a punt back to pay dirt. DeJuan Gentry in 1997 in the state semifinals against Mount Pleasant in that blowout Yellowjacket win. This is going to be Davis. He's going to put the foot into this one. It is a end-over-end kick. Robertson fair catches it, bobbles it, and then holds on to it at the 37-yard line as the Tigers were drawing the beat on him. But fortunately, Corey Robertson able to haul it in. So no return with 8:52 to go in the third. And the Jackets up 14-7. They'll set up shop 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line.
Do you think you'll see any changes here, Glenn, in the offensive strategy?
Well, one thing I think you will see at some point is Will Crawley becoming a little more active in the offense. They have not really gone back to him throwing the football since that first toss of the game. 1st and 10 means in motion. This is Crawley, a toss to Robertson. He's heading right, lowers the shoulder, but he disappears behind the line of scrimmage, lost a yard, and may have been fortunate to get forward progress to the original line of scrimmage. On the stop was Keandre Jones, the big linebacker, all 5'9", 200 pounds of him, and he introduced himself quite rudely.
Yeah, that's the first time I've really seen Robertson really get hammered as he was there. Jones really laid it on him.
They actually give him about a foot of progress, but we'll call it officially no gain. 2nd down and nearly 10 to go. Offset eye look, 2 receivers to the near side as Means goes in motion. This is Robertson. He wants to throw. He's looking to the near sideline. He's going to run out of time, and he's going to be tackled for a loss on the play. The Tigers had that one covered, although there was a Yellow Jacket who had gotten open downfield, trying to check and see who that is. It was the Yellow Jackets, might have been Hines or Jeremy Kimball, perhaps, who was open on the far sideline, but Robertson ran out of time to find a yellow jersey. It's 3rd and 15.
Well, what's going to happen now from now on, I can tell you that when he was trying to throw that football and was tucking, trying to run with it, that the coaches will tell him anytime you're in that situation, throw the football out of bounds.
Big loss on the play, and it'll set up 3rd down and long. This is Robertson getting the toss, coming near side, trying to find room. There's a flag, 35 out to the 40, but a blocking infraction against the Yellow Jackets is going to be the indication, and the Yellow Jacket very slow to get up. That might be Robertson, and it is. I think he might have taken a shot in the back as he went to the turf, and it is going to be holding against the Jackets, but the coaching staff from Terrell says decline it because it'll set up 4th down.
Well, we'll see Josh Vaughn come in again and see if he can get a size 16 shoes on that football and punt it down about another 48-yarder like he did before.
4th down, we'll call it 7 yards to go from the 40 of Dennison. And back deep for the Tigers, Bryce McCain. We'll see if Husband checks in to join him back there. So far, he has not. Vaughn started off kind of slowly with a 20-yard effort, but has gotten it going. Had a 48-yarder late in the first half. He'll stand at his 35-yard line. The Tigers showing return on, and Vaughn has all kinds of time, and he gets off a dandy. This is a great kick. Drives Bryce McCain back to the 20, sidesteps the tackler there, looks for daylight out to the 25, and is going to be wrestled out of bounds around the 32-yard line. Late flag. They're going to call a late hit.
They're going to call it on Jeremy Grimes over here on the near sideline. Grimes came over and just really touched him on the out-of-bounds stripe, and I think maybe Todd York may have helped him out a little bit as he was really complaining on that, even though Grimes just barely touched him. And they're going to call a personal foul, late hit on Jeremy Grimes.
Well, it's going to be the first time this year, but I thought it was a clean play because the ball carrier had not crossed the sideline yet. And until he does, he's fair game.
And he was trying not to go out of bounds.
He was definitely trying not to.
In.
And Grimes just did what you're taught to do, push him out of bounds.
All right.
And let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline. Man, one coach is happy. I bet another one's not so happy, Jason.
Yeah, you can say that. Again, matter of fact, maybe some new eyeglasses bought this week.
Well, I didn't say that.
Do we have an optometrist as a sponsor?
Not yet. 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Palmer's going to toss it to Husband. He heads right, cuts it back up the middle against the grain and gets to the Dennison 44-yard line. And it's just that little trap play in the inside that's been the only Achilles heel the Jackets have had defensively tonight.
Well, you got to start worrying about it a little bit now because for the second straight possession, Terrell has been able to move the football very well on that defensive line. The offensive line of Terrell is kind of controlling the line of scrimmage right now.
Power eye look. Husband gets the carry. He's got room to run outside, but he lost his footing and goes down to the 35. He's got the first down, but he had a chance to run for a lot more yardage. And as he tried to cut it back inside, the cleats just didn't grab hold of the turf.
The only thing keeping Terrell from the end zone right now is Terrell. They keep shooting themselves in the foot with all these penalties. You get kind of scared here because they keep driving the football.
They are definitely doing that here in the second half. Palmer's going to turn, toss his husband, heading right. He's going to be tackled from behind. A short gain, maybe 2 yards, but a yellow jersey right there to bring him to the turf as he's slow to get up. Let's go down to our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline, man. Jason, it is a humid night. It's not very hot, but it's humid. And that's going to be a factor in the late going of this game. How is the training staff keeping the Jackets up? A lot of electrolytes, that type of thing?
Well, yes, they've got.
They'll set up 2nd down and 9 for the Tigers as we get back to action. This is going to be Husband. He'll try the halfback pass, throws, has a man wide open, caught, and it's a touchdown for the Terrell Tigers. On the reception, Kendrick Turner, and Todd York says, hey, what you can do, we can do better.
Wow, he was wide open. Robertson just kind of drifted out of the sleep a little bit. Robertson should be the one to think about that thing because they do that quite a bit themselves. I believe Demond Jackson was actually the one who threw the football, and that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did. And just like that, the Tigers have answered back as Rusty Davis tries to tie the football game. The kick is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 5:50 to go in the third quarter of play. We got a barn burner in Terrell, Texas, 14-all. The Jackets and the Tigers were back after this timeout. 14 up, 5:50 to go on your Cable One kickoff. That's in the third quarter, 14-all. And back deep, Hines, Davis, and Robertson as Rusty Davis prepares for the Cable One kickoff. This is going to be another one of those short squibers, and it's going to be Hines that's going to take it at the 20-yard line, running upfield, 30, up to the 35, still running. He's got a little bit of daylight. It's going to close up as he gets out to the 45-yard line.
Nice return.
It was a nice return. Anthony Hines showing that straight-ahead running style. He just couldn't find that outside lane, but he returned the football 24 yards, 25 yards. So pretty good field position for the Yellowjackets to start their second drive of the third quarter. 14 up, Dennison and Terrell.
Anytime you start your possession at your own 45, you're doing pretty well.
Well, let's see what the Jackets can do. The last time the Tigers scored, Dennison came right back and answered. Receivers split to either side, an offset look. Robertson and Means behind Crawley. 1st and 10. This is a quick drop. It's going to be a throw over the middle. Caught. It's going to be a slant pass, a first down. I believe it's Chad Roberts on the reception. A bullet, and it's not Chad Roberts. Check that. Micah Hudgens got into the ball game, and another injured player for the Tigers. But Hudgens, the quick slant, almost that Michael Irvin type play. He just ran hard off the line, slanted in, and the defender really had no chance to stop that play if the ball's on the money, and it was.
Well, it was almost kind of like a skinny post because it wasn't a slant as like the normal slant like Irvin is. It's real right in towards the linebackers. It was more straight down the field, and Crawley threw a bullet.
Ball at the 34, 1st and 10. This is going to be Means heading right now. He's got a big hole to the left. It closes up, but he gets down to the 30 nonetheless. He had to bounce off one tackler, and that took his momentum away. He was still able to pick up about 4, maybe 5 tough yards. 2nd down, and we'll call it 6 coming up. The ball at the 30-yard line.
All it takes is a little bit of confidence with these guys, and maybe that catch by Micah Hudgens really put some spark into this offense. That was a big hole up the middle for Scooter Means, and now let's see if they can turn on the Robertson show.
4:49 to go in the third, and Robertson will be the eye back. It will be Scooter Means on the offset eye. Robertson gets the carry, heads right. Now he's going to cut it back to the inside of the field. The ball looked like maybe they were scrambling for it, but no official indication. And Robertson going to pick up a couple of tough yards. So after the big yardage that he was chewing up in the first half, Corey Robertson been bottled up so far in the second half, although you got to believe sooner or later he's going to catch that daylight.
Now they are kind of running that quick toss to the right side, not the far sweep like you would see towards the outside, towards the out of bounds mark, but they're running it right off the tackle, kind of a quick toss type sweep.
3 for 7 in third down conversions. This will be 3rd and 5. Offset eye, 2 receivers split either side. A man in motion. That'll be Roberts behind Will Crawley. This is going to be a reverse. It's going to be the receiver trying to bounce outside. Does 25 to the 20, inside the 15, lowering the shoulder to the 10. It's Scooter Means. He had lined up in the slot position in that offset look. He got the counter coming back the other way, and he rolls his way downfield.
Yeah, you said it exactly right. A counter. It was a counter trap and a counter buck maybe. Anytime you offset the running backs and send one on one side and one on the other, he handed off to Means with lots of running room down that lane, gets inside the 10-yard line all the way to the 8. Now Dennison is knocking on the door. Every time Terrell scores, Dennison comes right back.
Jackets 2 for 2 in the red zone. This is Crawley. He's going to turn, hands it off. Robertson rolls his way down toward the 5-yard line. He'll be stopped at the 6. So 2nd and goal coming up from the 6-yard line. 3:40 and counting in the third quarter. 14-14 is our score. The Jackets looking to come right back after the Tigers tie it and answer again.
I get a sense that this could be Josh Vaughn territory at some point in this season, and tonight might be it.
You know, one thing we haven't seen a lot of, Will Crawley has some decent wheels. You might see a bootleg of some sort.
Or even the quarterback draw.
Could see that. There is going to be a flag on the play, and I believe perhaps Dennison let too much time run off the clock. We'll have to wait and see what the indication is. Sideline warning. It's going to go against the Tigers, or the Yellowjackets, rather. Really pointed the direction of the Yellowjackets. Let's see here. He's urging everyone back. Let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home man. It looked like he was looking at the Terrell bench, but he pointed the Dennison side. Which one, Jason?
And the crazy thing about that is there's a bunch of Terrell cheerleaders on the Dennison side right now crowding it up.
2nd and goal from the 6.5-yard line. A too-tight set. This is Crawley, the quarterback draw. He tries to get inside the 5. He got right to the 5. We had the right play idea, but he was not able to break the last tackler. That might have been, if he could have gotten past that last outstretched arm, he might have gotten close to the goal line. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. What do you do here, Monty Walker? You've got a good kicker in Nathan Farley. You know that. But to win games like this, you got to score touchdowns.
Well, you don't want to risk an interception, I don't think. I think you keep it on the ground. You got one of the greatest running backs in North Texas right now.
Too tight, power look. This is going to be Robertson heading left, hit at the 5, rolls down to the 3-yard line. 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. It's decision time for Dennison head coach Bob Brown.
Well, I think in a tie football game, to take the lead would be the main option, but you never know with Coach Brown. He's so daring, he might just go for it.
Have not seen Nathan Farley take the field yet, and the Jackets are going for it. 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Too tight, power eye set. Robertson dotting the I. Crawley up under center. He's going to play action, wants to throw in the end zone. Got a man, it's knocked away. Incomplete, and the Tigers hold on 4th and goal from the 3.
Oh, it was a great defensive play by Bryce McCain in the back of the end zone. Knocked the ball away from Josh Vaughn. I mentioned it might be Josh Vaughn territory down there, and it was. But it was also McCain territory who knocked it away.
Let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man. Jason Smith, the Jackets roll the dice, nearly come up big. Instead, snake eyes bite them.
They really do. You know, in the play before that, it looked like Will Crawley had gotten the snap off before one of the Terrell defenders had gotten off the field, but no flag there.
Let's see if the Jackets can stop Terrell defensively. Husband gets the handoff straight up the middle. Not much running room, bottled up around the 5-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and long coming up. 1:39 to go in the game, and you got to like Bob Brown's style there. You know, the easy thing would have been to kick the field goal. They want to win the football game, and I think he was thinking kind of like we are. Field goals probably don't win this football game. You got to punch it in.
Well, Terrell's starting to move the ball pretty well on offense, and if they're going to score 7, you've got to score 7.
Let's see if the Jacket defense can hold. Going to have to stop the big plays at some point as Jamichael Palmer splits his backs behind him at the goal line. This is a toss. Husband trying to get outside to the far sideline. He's got room to run, lowers the shoulder, but a flag on the play as Husband gets out to the 11-yard line. Flag flew from the far sideline. Let's check with the Bratcher Funeral Home man. You were right there, Jason. Is that a blocking infraction?
That was definitely a block in the back. On the back side of that play, the play had already completely developed, and one of the Terrell Tigers blocked Malcolm Allen in the back.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Terrell does not win this football game, they're going to be very upset at themselves because they have, I don't know how many penalties that they've had, but it's been numerous and for many yards, and I'll bet you Kevin Farr will probably come up with it by the time I finish this sentence.
Only the 6th official penalty by the Tigers. But, you know, both teams could sing that song because the Jackets have missed twice tonight on golden scoring opportunities. The first play from scrimmage to Anthony Hines, and then down inside the 5-yard line as they get turned away. And, you know, the one thing, and not to criticize because I never played quarterback, but I think Will looked at Vaughn the whole way on that 4th and goal play and and the defender was able to read his eyes just enough to get up in the air, knock the ball away on the play action. It'll be 2nd down and long. This is going to be a handoff up the middle to King, and he's going to be buried around the line of scrimmage, the 5-yard line. Vinny Rhodes we call him, makes the stop, and with 42 seconds to go in the third, 14-all is the score. The Tigers face 3rd down and 7 deep in their own territory. Wouldn't you like to see a turnover here?
Oh, this would be very nice. Dennison needs all the momentum they can get in a tie football game. 28 seconds left in the third quarter. This will probably be the last play of the quarter.
2 men split in the backfield. That'll be King and Husband behind Jamichael Palmer. This is Palmer, flag on the play, running the option. He's going to pull up at the 5, and he's going to be chopped down just after the 10-yard line. A headhunter came flying in. The Terrell fans wanted a late hit.
That was Marcus Davis who came in head first.
We got an injured Yellowjacket on the near sideline who not quite sure who that is.
Well, I believe it's Bill Bates. Nathan Farley, if you will. He was went for the tackle. The outside linebacker went over to make the stop. I think we've got a case of a lot of cramps going on.
Yep.
Because also the quarterback down there, Jamichael Palmer, is still down, and he's trying to stretch out his legs a little bit. Of course, this always happens in the first part of the year. It's so hot, so humid that kids are really having a tough time keeping their legs.
9 seconds to go, and kind of lost in all the cramping was the penalty.
Yeah, and another factor into these cramps is the week 0, because you don't have as much time to prepare and run as you normally would back in the old days when you go through 2-a-days and you go through another month of practice before you even play a game. Now that when it's cut so short, that's also a factor.
Yellowjacket coaching staff will be facing somewhat of a decision here, either to take the play and force 4th and short, or back the Tigers up. And let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home man, Jason. What's the Jacket coaching staff looking at here?
It appears like they're going to go ahead and take the penalty and try to pin the Tigers right against their own end zone, hopefully stop them and make them punt from the back of the end zone.
You know, I wish Johnny Allen would show up right now. Do something crazy.
He would do something crazy, no doubt about it. Johnny, if you're back home listening, well, we wish you'd show up and do something crazy about it right now. They may have waved the flag off.
Yeah, it's
half the distance to the goal line from the spot of the infraction is what happened. So it only ends up being a 2-yard penalty back to the 4-yard line. So 3rd down and 11 from about the 3.5-yard line. 9 seconds to go in the quarter. The clock has expired, and we're heading to the 4th and final stanza. The only question is, will it be Jacket quarter or will it be Tiger quarter? We'll answer that question when we come back. You're listening to Denison Yellowjacket football. We're back after this timeout. Big play of the game, maybe the biggest play of the game so far for the Jacket defense. 3rd and 11 from the Terrell 3. The Tigers backed up in the shadow of their own end zone. And we'll see what happens to Michael Palmer. He is wanting to throw the football. He's back in the back of the end zone. He's going to be, the ball is up for grabs. He's going to be caught at the 21-yard line. They're going to wave it off, say he was out of bounds and didn't hold on to the football.
Oh, it was a smash by Robertson is what it was. He caught the ball, and Robertson lit him up, smashed him.
I said the lighting is not all that good on the end of the field, and I'm telling you, the defender or receiver, for the briefest of moment, had the ball cradled, and Robertson just unleashed on him, and he couldn't hold on as he went out of bounds.
I'm telling you, that was a smash of a hit by Robertson, and I hope that young man is okay.
Yeah, he is not.
He was lit up.
He's not gotten up. You know, maybe we shouldn't call Robertson and Hines shock and awe. Maybe we should call them thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
Rusty Davis at the back of the end zone trying to punt the football away. The Jackets have Hines and Robertson at the 31. Davis gets away a short, wobbly kick, and it's going to take a Tiger roll out of bounds around the 37-yard line. One of the coaches kicks it on down the field after it goes out of bounds. But Dennison set up in great field position with 11:44 to go. They were unable to get the return on. They got the rush on Rusty Davis, the punter. He was not able to get a great kick away, but it took that spinning hop, and it got about an extra 10 yards downfield, or the Tigers were really in trouble.
Well, I think what Dennison will probably want to do now is somehow start chewing up this clock, make their way towards the end zone, and try to punch this thing in, take as much time off the clock as they can.
Robertson and Means in the backfield. 2 receivers split wide to the left. This is Robertson running outside, trying to cut it back inside. He has 5 yards on his first carry of this drive. and it will be 2nd down and 5. The ball will be marked right just across the 35, between the 35 and the 36. 11:27 and counting in the game, in regulation, I should say. 14-14, Dennison and Terrell. Remember, Terrell came in a 19-point favorite, according to Collier Sharp. But what do they know?
All right.
Apparently not much so far. Jackets with the offset eye, too tight set, a receiver to the near side on 2nd and 5. Handoff Robertson, running straight ahead. That's Hines, rather, leaps a couple of tacklers, has the 1st down and more to the 25-yard line with 10:59 and counting.
Well, let me do trivia right quick for all you guys out there that love trivia while they're moving the sticks. Dennison has been ranked as high as what going into the season? The preseason rankings, they've been ranked
Associated
what?
Press.
Associated Press, and it's been twice done. What ranking were they and what years? Call 903-465-6200.
Offset eye look, a man in motion on 1st and 10 for the Jackets in Tiger territory. This is Means on the counter play as he rumbles to the left. Faked it to Hines going right, countered it back to the left side to Means. And a little bit of tough running in there, but Means lowered the shoulder and plowed between a couple of defenders for about 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up, the ball at the 23-yard line. 10:25 and counting in regulation. 14 all our score.
Let me tell you again, I need the highest ranking, preseason ranking by the Associated Press. It was done twice. I need the highest ranking and the 2 years.
Hines in the backfield. Means will go in motion on 2nd and 8. This is Hines running left, trying to find a block from Crawley. He's going to cut it back across the grain, and he just simply needs to go down. He finally does. He picked up maybe yardage back to the line of scrimmage, and I think they're actually going to say he lost yardage. Thought they might give him some forward progress and then count him being driven backwards, but they're actually going to say an official loss of 2 on the play. So Dennison, kind of where they were a little while ago. They've threatened, but they're on the verge of not being able to cash it in. The ball at the 25. They do have a good field goal kicker in Nathan Farley, so that's really not a concern. They can certainly take a shot from this distance, but they certainly would like to get more. Receivers split either side, 3rd down and 10. And this is going to be a pitch to Hines. Hines has got some daylight, room to run. He's got the 30, still running, 25, lowers the shoulder and gets down near the 20-yard line. He'll be short of the 1st down, but give Will Crawley all the credit. He was in jail, somehow pitched the ball.
I don't know how he got rid of the ball. It was a busted play, had a guy right in his face. As he was going down, pitched the ball to Hines. Hines comes the other way, comes backwards across the field, a la Tony Dorsett, makes people miss, and finally gets about 5 yards or so, 4 yards, so make it 4th down and about 6 from the 21-yard line.
Nathan Farley in for the field goal attempt. He was 5 out of 11 last year. His longest was 32. He was deadly from 29 in, 4 out of 4. This is a 38-yard effort from the right hash mark. Fink to hold, high snap, gets it down. Farley's got plenty of leg if it's true. And the official indication is it is good. Timeout on the field. 8:25 to go in the football game. 17-14. The Yellowjackets take the lead. We're back after this timeout. 17-14. 8:25 left in regulation. As Nathan Farley on a career-long field goal connects from 38 yards out to give the upset-minded Jackets a 17-14 lead. On the Cable One kickoff, Farley called upon to put the foot into this one again. He's going to squib it across the 30, and it's going to die. It's a live ball, and the Jackets are going to be right there. The ball is loose, and it's going to be picked up by one of the up men. I believe that's going to be DeMond Jackson, who came over, picked the loose football up, and rolled upfield for about 7 yards, but the ball was floating free on the turf for just a brief moment.
Well, their panic was setting in over here on the Terrell sideline, but they were able to pick it up as Jackson was able to get the hold on it. Now, Jackson was the same guy who threw the touchdown a moment ago, but I'll tell you what, they're lucky because that ball was on the turf.
We'll check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man in just a moment and see how close the Jackets came to the big turnover. 1st and 10. This is going to be Palmer. He's going to toss it to Husband. Husband running ahead. He plows his way out across the 30 to the 35-yard line. So 7 yards from 1st down. Jason, Jackets came pretty close to a huge turnover.
They really did, and the coach on the other side of the field definitely had reason for alarm because the ball had almost completely quit rolling before the Terrell Tigers tried to even pick it up. It was on the ground for a long, long time.
Here we go again with the Terrell offense churning out 7 yards on first down. Not a good sign.
Well, they've got a long way to go. You just got to make them earn it. This is a toss. This is going to be Jackson running across the 40, has the first down out to the 44-yard line. Let's check back down with Jason. Jason, coaches have got to come up with some answers defensively. They've been unable to stop this 7-8 yards per carry in the second half. Any ideas of what they're trying to get their troops to do?
Well, they're going to have to start doing some different blocking schemes. Coach Brown had told us earlier in some preseason conversations about how that battle would be won up front, and Dennison having a smaller defensive line.
This is going to be a toss to Husband. He's going to be hitting the backfield, turns forward, but cannot get back to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 11 coming up. Clock on the move, 7:24 to go in regulation. 17-14 is the score. The Yellowjackets, the upset-minded Yellowjackets, in the lead. And let's see if Dennison can pull this one out of the bag. What a huge season-opening win this would be for the 2003 Yellowjackets.
Well, I think Anthony Hines might be a little bit winded over here.
This is going to be a toss. Husband heading to the far sideline. Now to try to cut it back in. His feet went out from under him as he tried to turn the corner, and he's going to stumble forward for about 2 yards. So 3rd and 8 coming up for the Tigers. A huge, huge defensive play for the Yellowjackets with 6:46 to go in the fourth quarter. Tonight, 3rd down conversions for the Tigers. They have not been very good, but they've been good enough.
Scooter Means checks in on defense as one of the inside backers.
Only 2 out of 7 in 3rd down conversions. The Tigers on the night. Offset eye look, receiver to the near side. Palmer's going to toss Husband. Husband coming to the near side. He'll turn it up. He's got the first down as he gets across the 45-yard line. Check that, not Husband on the carry. It was Roderick Dabney, rather. And he picks up the first down. And so for the 3rd time out of 8 attempts, the Tigers move the sticks, and now they're in Jacket territory at the 43. Clock is a huge issue for both teams. 6:17 to go. The Tigers call a timeout. We're back Memorial Stadium in Terrell, Texas. Lynn Burkhead, Monty Walker, and the crew. The clock is at 6:17 to go in the game. This is going to be Husband on the toss. He's going to break some tackles. The ball's loose on the ground. Dennison has recovered. A huge fumble at the 42-yard line, and Dennison has its biggest defensive play of the night.
Oh, baby, the far side's going nuts. The black and gold on the far side. The fans are going crazy. Kyle Richards jumps on the football. And I tell you what, 6:11 left to go in this football game. Dennison has a 3-point lead and are in the driver's seat for the upset.
Husband got spun around, and it looked like he didn't even know he didn't have possession of the ball anymore. I think somebody just got the mid in there and spun it out, and Kyle Richards right there to make the grab.
Kudos to Coach Brown for calling the timeout, getting his guys refreshed.
1st and 10, 2 tight power eye set from the 42. Robertson gets the handoff, runs straight ahead, nothing doing. Jackets just going to take care of the ball, burn the clock, baby, burn the clock. Robertson, we thought, might easily get past 200 tonight, and unless he gets a big run here in the late going, he's probably not going to get there. 176, maybe a foot on that carry, but not an official yard.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm not sure if he could make it that far on one run. These guys are simply out of gas. Anthony Hines a moment ago on defense was just barely able to stand up.
5:40 and counting. Offset eye look, 2 receivers, 1 in motion to the near side, flags on the play. And the Jackets, I think, took too much time.
Well, no, somebody jumped off sides. It may have even been Crawley. He kind of flinched a little bit when he was going for the, I think he gave a head fake, and I think he did it too good.
Illegal procedure will be the indication. And the clock operator's so quick that he immediately knocks the play clock back to 25 seconds. And every time I've looked down that way, I thought, well, they let too much time go off. He is really quick on the trigger finger, but it was illegal procedure against the Jackets. I think you're right. The hard snap count by Will Crawley is what got the Jackets the hanky right there. But it did burn some time. 5:21 and counting, 2nd and 15 from the 35. This is going to be Crawley. He's going to throw. Throws, and his man slipped down, and even if he hadn't, he had run the wrong route.
Well, it's very dangerous out there because Corianzo Harris. I apologize to the parents if I'm really torturing that, but Harris simply fell down, and their cornerback was still there. Could have made the interception had he not gone too close to the sideline there.
Yeah, that was
very dangerous.
That was that quick out route, and boy, how many times? Remember Larry Brown in the Super Bowl for the Cowboys burned Neil McDonald on the same play. The out route receiver turned in instead of running the out route. And that time, fortunately, Terrell not able to make the play. Man in motion, 3rd and 15. This is going to be Robertson. He's trying to get to the sideline. He's got room to run. He's to the 50. Robertson to the 40. He is going to be out of bounds at the 38-yard line, but a first down in Tiger territory.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Robertson in 6th gear rolling down the sidelines almost to the 40-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 41 in Terrell territory with 5:05 left to go in this football game. Dennison on top, 17-14, and knocking on the door.
22-yard run, and that puts Robertson at 198 yards rushing. The Jackets smell the upset. 5:05 to go in the fourth. Dennison 1st and 10 from the Terrell 41. A man in motion. That's Chad Roberts. Offset eye. Robertson gets the handoff. Runs ahead. He's got 200 yards and more as he picks up 7 yards on first down. So the Jackets go over the 200-yard mark. Robertson gets his 3rd 200-yard rushing game of his career. 4th, excuse me. And the Jackets smell a big upset.
Well, I hope they're going to smell it, Lynn, because there's still 4:41 left on the clock, but they are in the driver's seat, and they're 35 yards away from another score.
They only gave him 6 yards credit, so that puts him at 204 yards on the night. And the clock is the key issue. Dennison has all the points it would need if they can run the clock out. They own a 3-point lead. Obviously, they want more. Power eye, too tight set. Handoff Robertson, lowers the shoulder and plows ahead. He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down marker, and that will set up 3rd down and short, and that will bring the clock inside of 4 minutes.
Well, at this point, Terrell has to be dog-tired on defense because Dennison is just powering over them every play.
It's been a battle of running backs, and if I can almost tell you the running back that wins the battle is whose team is probably going to win the game, and Robertson right now has the upper hand. 3rd down and about a yard and a half to go. Offset eye, 2 receivers, a man in motion. Handoff, Scooter Means running left, first down inside the 30-yard line. Dennison gets a new set of downs, 3:34 to go in the game, and the Terrell Tigers came into the game 19-point favorites, according to Collier Sharp, ranked 8th in the Dallas-Fort Worth 4A Metroplex poll by the Dallas Morning News, and the Denison Yellowjackets are giving them all they can handle.
Well, Coach Brown told us 2 weeks ago this would be the measuring stick, the Terrell game. He said if our kids can play tough with Terrell, we've got a good chance of being tough all year long.
We've got another shaken up Terrell Tiger, and let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man. Jason, we really talk coming into the season, we don't really want to talk about Big Mo. We talk about momentum way too much, but it's very obvious right now whose side it's on. The Jackets have just got to find a way to either score some more points and get the clock run out 3 minutes and 34 more seconds, and they walk away with a huge upset win.
Well, that is correct, and when you look at the scoreboard this late in the game when your defense has been out there digging in the trenches for so long, even though the defense of the Terrell Tigers are so much bigger than the Yellowjackets offensive line, you look at that scoreboard that adds about 300 more pounds of weight on your shoulders, and you can just see it affecting the Terrell Tigers as they're sitting back on their heels and getting pushed back by a smaller offensive line.
Yeah, we're going to be coming up with a star of the game close nearby too, and there's several of them we could pick and choose from. Shock and awe. Both of those guys could be candidates for it. Of course, Robertson having a 200-yard night may be a prime candidate for the star of the game.
Well, look at it this way. C-Rob 2, as we've called him, is starting his 10th game tonight as the Yellow Jacket tailback. He has 4 200-yard-plus efforts in those 10 games. He's got well over 1,500 yards now in career rushing, and he's only got 10 games under his belt. He's got a full season this year, a full senior season, and hopefully a lot of playoff games to go. The Jackets with a new set of downs, 3:27 to go in the game. The clock begins to roll. Offset eye, receivers either side, a man in motion for Will Crawley, and he'll take every second off of it. This is a handoff Robertson. Skitter bugs his way a couple of steps forward, maybe 2, maybe 3 yards before the pile closes in on him. But the most important thing is that carry will take the clock inside of 3 minutes. Nope, the Tigers burn a timeout. We're going to join them. 3:09 left in regulation. 3 minutes and 9 seconds. That's what separates Bob Brown and the Yellowjackets from a very important season opening win over a heavily favored Terrell Tiger squad.
Congratulations to Nona Taylor. She was the one who got the answer. Dennison has been ranked high as third in preseason polls by the Associated Press twice, 1985, 1997.
Well, the mark of a championship team is putting opponents away. This is Robertson. He's got the carry, still rumbling forward, trying to get to the first down marker, and I believe his forward progress is going to carry him about maybe 2 yards shy, and we're going to keep it right here. The Tigers are going to burn another timeout. A first down here would be a huge step in getting that accomplished. Offset eye, receivers either side. Third down, a long 3.5 to go. This is Robertson running to the far sideline. He'll turn it in. I think he's got the first. It's going to be close. They gave him the spot. Let's go down to Jason Smith, our Bratcher Fitter Home man. Did he get it?
Oh, yes, he got it. It was still a short spot, but he got it by a footstep.
Well, they are moving the chain, so, Jason, you are correct. And that is a big first down for the Yellowjackets.
Well, the Tigers elect not to burn the timeout here. They've got one left, 2:45 and cranking. Dennison is probably going to have to get one more first down to put it in the bag. And they've certainly got to protect the football, no doubt about that. The ball is at the 19-yard line. You want to run the clock. You want to make the Tigers burn that timeout, and you want to pick up the first if at all possible and run this game into the victory, or into the record books. Robertson gets the carry, and he heads left, cut it back inside a couple of 2 or 3 tough yards, and the clock will continue to roll. 2:15 and counting. 17-14. The Yellowjackets lead on Katy Country. Lynn Burkhead, Monty Walker, and the crew. A first down, and the Jackets could take the knee and go to the house with a big W. This is Robertson, gets the toss left side, runs it inside. He's going to be just shy of the first down yardage necessary. It's going to set up third down and about a yard at the 10-yard line. They needed 8. He got just inside the 10, and it'll be third down, and let's call it a long 2 yards to go. 1:53 and counting in the game. The 19-point favorite Terrell Tigers sitting nervously. Todd York in his initial ball game as the head coach of the Tigers. The 8th-ranked Dallas Morning News Class 4A team is a $137 away from an upset loss to the Denison Yellowjackets. 3rd and 2 from the 10. Power I, too tight set. This is a toss. Robertson looks left, cuts back right. He's got the first down and more. He's to the pylon. Did he get in? Stick it in the end zone. No indication yet. There it is. Stick it in the end zone. Put it on the scoreboard. The lighting is not very good in the corner. Touchdown, Dennison. And with 1:23 to go, Corey Robertson finishes what he started, and the Yellowjackets should walk away with a huge opening week win.
Well, the digital scoreboard here at Memorial Stadium says, oh, no. But I want to say, oh, my. Robertson, my goodness.
Well, I made the cardinal mistake of not using the binocs, and the lighting and the glare, it's not very good in the corners. I knew he was close, but I couldn't tell if he had crossed the pylon, but the official said he did. Robertson with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, and Farley on for a very important PAT. Fink gets it on the tee. It is going to be botched as Farley boots it into the line of scrimmage. Fink had a lot of trouble handling the snap from Grimes, but there are penalty markers on the field. A delay of game penalty apparently going to be called against the Jackets. But that touchdown could salt it away for Dennison. It should salt it away for the Yellowjackets,
well,
who take a 9-point lead. Of course, we've seen stranger things happen in the last few years, so
yeah, this is true.
We'll reserve judgment until
at least this is Friday the 29th and not the 13th.
Just after the 10 o'clock hour, and Bob Brown told us coming into this game that this would be a measuring stick game, Monty, and I think the Jackets have measured up tonight, regardless of what happens in the next 1 minute and 23 seconds.
Yeah, this is true.
Farley puts the PAT through, and with 1:23 to go, a 10-point lead, 24-14. We're back in a moment with more Yellowjacket football. 24-14 as we prepare for the Cable One kickoff. Nathan Farley is going to boot it away. 1:23 remaining in the ball game, and he's going to squib it down the field. Bounced off a Tiger at the line. The ball is still loose, and Upman will pick it up, and he is going to be tackled from behind. No, he's still going, but he finally goes down. Pretty elusive young man there for the Tigers. That was Roderick Dabney making the stop for Denison. Matt Fink. So good job for Matt Fink. And this is staggering. It's scary. We've got some numbers that are unbelievable.
Listen to this. These are the running backs who have had 200-yard games. Aaron Jackson had 5.
That's the school record.
He had
in his career.
In his career, had 5 200-yard games. DeJuan Gentry, 4. Do we dare call him C-Rob?
C-Rob, 1, yeah.
Chris Robinson.
The first. C-Rob the first.
Okay, how about he had 4. C-Rob 2 now.
How about Deuce?
C-Rob 2 now has 4.
That's
and
unbelievable.
He's only started 10 games.
And at the very least, he would appear to have 19 games left in his football career. And tonight's effort, 28 carries, 235 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Excuse me, that's only the second best effort of his career. JaMychal Palmer is trying to throw the home run ball, throws it downfield out of bounds as no one was open. 1 minute and 13 seconds to go. And let's bring our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man in. Jason, it seems pretty obvious now the Jackets should walk away with a win. And our stars of the game, obviously, Corey Robertson. But how about the 2 guys up front who really did some damage? Vincent Rhodes and Gary Wetz, the Yellowjackets center. Those 2 guys on the center and the left side of the line really put the hurt on the Big Red tonight. What do you think?
Well, they really did. You know, they protected Will when he was back there passing. They protected the running backs when they were passing, and then, of course, opened up some great holes for the backs and for Corey Robertson to get this incredible running game underway tonight.
94 is what the streak is about to go to. 94 straight wins by the Jackets when they get over the 200-yard mark. 1:13 to go. JaMychal Palmer is back to pass. He's in all kinds of trouble. He eludes a couple of tacklers. He wants to throw, finds a man, but it's incomplete, out of bounds. And the clock will stop at 1:10 to go in the game. Actually, the clock is going to...
The clock is still rolling down to 107 for some reason. It should have been stopped at 111.
Yeah, I should clarify. It's 200 yards rushing. When Dennison gets 200 yards rushing in a game, it's almost automatic they win. They haven't lost in 94 games. They haven't lost since a guy named George Bush was the president. But it's not this George Bush.
Well, if Kevin Farr says he was in high school, that means I was probably in middle school.
What's even more amazing is I had a full head of hair the last time that happened.
I just want to know what Kevin was coaching then.
Yeah.
Tiddlywinks. He coaches everything. 3rd and 10 from the 38. JaMychal Palmer back to pass, trying to find a home run hitter. He's going to scramble up the field. The Jackets are content to let him find his way down the sideline to the 45. It's going to be close to a first down, but with 59 seconds to go, the Tigers beginning to run out of opportunity. I guess we shouldn't salt it away just yet. A touchdown and then an onside kick, and it could get interesting, but it certainly would appear the Jackets are in the driver's seat with 59 seconds to go. And if they'd been able to stop Palmer on that 3rd and long play right there, the Tigers would have been down to 1 opportunity. The ball's at the 50-yard line. 59 seconds left in the 4th quarter in the ball game. We're going to think positively. It would take quite a heroic effort in the final 60 seconds for the Tigers to even threaten to tie this game. Straight eye look, Palmer back to pass. The Jackets playing home run coverage. He's going to dump it underneath to King, and King is going to rumble forward out to the 44-yard line. The Jackets pretty content to let the Tigers do that because the clock's going to continue to move. And Dennison in no hurry to get back across the line. The Tigers certainly trying to hurry things up. It'll be 2nd down and 4 from the 44. 37 seconds to go in the ball game. JaMychal Palmer trying to set his troops. 31 seconds, so letting some very valuable time run off the clock. 1 receiver, 2 tight sets, straight eye look, flags before this one can get underway. And we're down to 24 seconds, and the Tigers inexplicably let about 16 seconds run off the clock right there, and you know they just don't have the time to do that. This is win number, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. In 24 seconds, this will be win number 199 in Bob Brown's illustrious career and 99 at Denison High School.
Seems just like yesterday that we were congratulating him for his overall winning record at Denison.
Yeah,
the all-time winningest coach.
He's going to do something next week, perhaps, with a big win that few coaches have ever done. Palmer throws the home run ball downfield. This ball game is history. The Yellowjackets have intercepted the ball. And let's see, on the interception, I believe that was Marcus Davis.
Yeah, it was.
And that is the 4th turnover of the night for the Terrell Tigers. And the Jackets simply have to take a knee with 3 seconds to go. The 19-point favorite Terrell Tigers under first-year head coach Todd York are going to take it on the chin at home. Last year, Terrell marched into Munson Stadium and started a 9-2 run with a 35-10 shellacking of the Yellowjackets. Tonight, it's payback time in Kaufman County. The Jackets are going to upend the Tigers 24-14, and Dennison will go to 1-0 in the season in 3 seconds. The Tigers will fall to 0-1. Dennison traveling south to face Samuel next week as Bob Brown prepares to gun for win number 200 in his career. Will Crawley takes the knee. The clock has expired. Triple zeros across, and Dennison has upset the Class 4A Dallas Morning News 8th-ranked team in the area. 24-14, the final score. Dennison with a big win tonight to open the 2003 season. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of stats to go over, and some very elated players and coaches to talk to. Don't touch that dial. Yellow Jacket football continues after this timeout.